Hello, welcome to this episode of PC Parkour. You'll notice the scenery's changed, got a little more lights on this time, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing, which is going to be messing with some RGB lighting strips. This build is a little different. Let's get into it. So for this build, I wasn't actually involved with the purchasing planning. What we did is we added a few used parts that were already on hand, highlighted here in yellow. And then here we are working on the motherboard, taking off those brackets, which, spoiler alert, ended up having to put those back on with the upgrade of the cooler to the Prism. This one has a Ryzen 5 3600 CPU in it. More than enough power for this build. Overkill really for this motherboard, since this motherboard's more of an entry-level board. And then here's the original CPU cooler that came with that 3600 that I installed. Later on you'll notice that that's been modified and changed to the Prism version, which is the RGB version. FlareX G-Skill memory, DDR4, 3200 megahertz for the speed, two 8GB sticks for a total of 16 gigabytes. Team Group 256 SSD M.2 drive. They're so handy, you don't have to run SATA or power, they just hook right into your board. One of the best things to happen to memory storage in a while. The Fantex 300 case. A nice looking black and red case with a power supply shroud. Got good cord management options in the back. One thing to keep in mind with this particular case, it only came pre-installed with one fan, a 120mm exhaust fan. So I did grab two 140mm pressure optimized fans to go in the front. This particular case doesn't have a mesh front, so you need a pressure optimized to help with the airflow, since there's less space for it to pull air from. Got the blacked out fans to fit the theme. Installed pretty easily. Standard 4-pin. Then we've got our 2TB storage drive for video games and anything else you may need to store. Dropping the motherboard pre-assembled as much as possible into the case and then tightening down on the standoffs. One reason why you do this is it's just easier to access the RAM and the SSD as well as the CPU cooler and all that. Attach it while the motherboard's outside of the case. Saves yourself a lot of work once it's in the case and you've got less room to work. Install in our power supply, 500 watt 80 plus certified. It's an EVGA as well, love their power supplies. Doing some routing, there's our CPU, 4-pin routing for the video card. Here we are routing the 24-pin up to the motherboard spot. Really like the way that they laid out the case in the back so you can kind of put everything where it needed to be. And here we are installing the RX 580 8GB Sapphire Overclock Edition video card. Out of the box, this card's pretty much maxed out, so there's really nothing to do but plug and play with this thing. Installing the 8-pin connector to that. So power. Did have to flash the BIOS of the motherboard. Something that you got to keep in mind with these newer generation CPUs.
I can see the light in every ounce of you. I can see the light in everything we do. I can see the light in every open door. I can see.
Hello, welcome to this. Let's put together and see what we can A lot of the parts were purchased by. Hello, welcome to this episode. Hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Don't forget, hit that bell.